Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today is time to do that thing we do sometimes, where we sit down and we take stock. Specifically, take stock of Ascended Heroes, because we're in this situation at the moment where the set's coming, it's coming at the end of January, and it's a little bit confusing because it's made up of Mega Dream EX, the kind of the mini set, the extra set, etc. over in Japan, and Start Deck 100, kind of mashing those together. And the Start Deck 100 is a bunch of reprints of a few new cards here and there. And Mega Dream EX is largely reprints of a few new cards thrown in here or there. So it does start to get a little bit confusing sometimes, trying to figure out what's new, what's a reprint, what's coming where, and what we're getting, and all of that good stuff. So with that borne in mind, we're going to be looking at the EXs that we know about that could be coming in Ascended Heroes. I am not proclaiming that I'm going to be telling you the exact lineup of EXs from Ascended Heroes, partly because we haven't seen all the ones on Start Deck 100, partly because we're just missing a little bit too much information, really, to get too deep into that. We are told that there are going to be 13 Mega Evolution Pokemon EX, 6 Tera, and 20 Pokemon EX, but then there could be reprints in there as well. Well, we know there are some reprints in there as well, because there's things like the Mega Attack rares, and it all gets very, very confusing very, very quickly. So for that reason, like I've said, we are going to just look at the new ones that could be in the set, what's been revealed, where they're coming from, and we can figure it out from there. Sound like a plan? Excellent. So let's start off having a look at the new EXs, which are part of Mega Dream EX. The cards that are new in that set that are Pokemon EXs. We have Mega Frostlass. Mega Frostlass is one I'm actually kind of sneakily pretty invested in. Now, the free energy 150 plus sleep, nah mate, don't care. But single energy 50 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. And we've got things like Chandelure that can make both players draw cards. I'm just saying, a card which makes your opponent choose between having cards in hand that they want or emptying out their hand so you don't do much damage, but then they're getting rid of cards they want to keep. That sounds like it could be fun. Not claiming this is going to be some kind of like busted superpower, but it is a card I'm a little bit interested in, a little bit excited about, and one that I've got my eye on. We're also getting ourselves Mega Electros, another brand new Mega EX. And again, I can't guarantee this is in the set, but these are ones which I would expect all of them to be in there unless something goes very wrong. Now, Mega Electros, we've actually got a couple of really interesting attacks. We got 2 Lightning Energy, and it does 60 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. But then you can combine that with Hawlucha that drops 10 damage or 1 damage counter onto each of 2 bench Pokemon, and then you're hitting 70, which is the magic number for evolutions, or free energy 190, and then if you want, you can trash 2 lightning energy from this Pokemon and get instant paralysis, which sounds like something you might want to do. Now, Mega Hawlucha is a Pokemon I'm a huge fan of. I think Mega Hawlucha is a top 3 Mega Pokemon. I don't love the card like I hoped I was going to love the card, which honestly makes me a little bit sad, but there's not very much we can do about it now, is there? Because the ability says, if you would be knocked out by damage from an attack, flip a coin, and if heads, you survive with 10 HP. And that is any time you will be KO'd by damage from an attack. But then, for free energy, it does 120, but if there's a stadium in play, you do 260 and trash the stadium, or discard the stadium. I don't think the attack's good enough, and if you flip tails, the ability does nothing. So, yeah, I do worry that that one might end up not being as good as I was hoping. Although, just to be clear, I would be absolutely delighted, beyond delighted, if somebody could come and prove me wrong and show me that Hawlucha is, in fact, an amazing card, because I want it to be. Now we have Mega Scrafty. No, it is not a coincidence that the new ones in Mega Dream EX are all Megas. It's a Mega Evolution set. Come on, that's what they wanted to do. And with Mega Scrafty, we've got an ability that says, if it's active and it is damaged by an attack, you put 5 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. And if you start, giving it its darkness Pokemon, you start combining this with something like Punk Helmet, and I'm just saying, this could end up being a pretty disastrous Pokemon to try and attack. So it's one that I've got my eye on. Problem is, the attack is free energy, 160, and then you choose a card from your opponent's hand at random and discard it, and then discard the top card of their deck. It could be amazing, but it doesn't do enough damage, and it could be a complete waste of time. You have been warned. And then you've got the real kind of highlight Pokemon from the set, the real poster child of the set, which is, of course, your Mega Dragonite. And what we got from Mega Dragonite is an ability that just once during your turn, you can switch the active with one of your bench. And then free energy, free 30, trash 2 energy. And to be fair, you start playing around with stuff like electric, there is a chance that this could actually work. And I have seen people over in Japan already playing it with electric. I've not necessarily seen them doing as well as they might have hoped to have done. But there's clearly something here. There is clearly a chance, a whiff, something here that we could start maybe thinking a little bit about. But that is a real kind of highlight look at me card from the set. So this is one that I think a lot of people are going to be getting rather excited about. So keep an eye on it. Could end up being pretty gosh darn good. Now that's what we've got coming out from Mega Dream EX. Bunch of new Mega Pokemon. Which, honestly, yeah. You probably should have expected a bunch of new Mega Pokemon. Because that's what the set was always going to be. And the good news is that's not all we've got in terms of new Mega Pokemon. Because in Start Deck 100, the big new Pokemon, the Mega Pokemon, is Charizard Y. And we've already had confirmation and an English scan of that. We know for a fact it's going to be in Ascended Heroes. So it's free energy and you discard free and do 280 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Doesn't have to be active, can be bench. But we've still got that Oricorio, which was kind of designed for your first Mega Charizard, the X, but absolutely works just as well here. Maybe we play all of it? Both the Mega Charizard and the Oricorio? And then we have a lot of fun along those lines? It's something I've got my eye on, put it that way. And doing 280 to the bench is clearly very, very powerful. The other one we've got coming in here is Mega Ordino. Mega Ordino is a thing. Mega Ordino is coming. And I know last time it won the World Championships, and I'm clearly doing my part to hype it up. I am a little bit concerned it might not be as good as we'd hoped. For free energy, you do 20 damage, plus 80 for each energy on your opponent's active Pokemon. Against energy-hungry decks, clearly great, but that's not just where we are right now. I do like for a single energy, you flip 3 coins, and for each one, you attach 2 energy, basic, from your deck to your Pokemon in any way you like. That can be ridiculous energy acceleration, but it is also flipping and involves you whacking a free prize Pokemon in the active, kind of daring your opponent to attack into it. And there is at least an argument that that might not be the smartest idea we've ever seen. So yeah, I'll let you guys think about that one. We have our first Registeel coming in a very long time. It's been many years since we got a Registeel, but we're getting a Registeel now. EX anyway. And I really want it to be good. For a single energy, you can attach 2 basic metal from your trash to this Pokemon. Or for 4 energy, you do 140 and take 50 less from damage next turn. Metal do have a bunch of tricks right now for survivability. So, again, maybe there's something we can do here in terms of making this a bit bulkier. There is Erica's Vileplume. Now, the attack is free energy, 160 plus poison and sleep, which I feel is too expensive on a stage 2. But we do have a nice ability that heals 30 damage from all of your Pokemon, and if you've got multiple Vileplume, you can use this multiple times. So that's something which, I'll be honest with you, I do think, as I told you the other day, I do think there is an argument for Erica's Victory Bell, not an EX, just a new card coming. And maybe in there this is a nice support, but I do think if Erica is going to be good, it's going to be Victory Bell, not Vileplume. And then we've got Miraidon and Koraidon, which represent your very first Tera Pokemon in a year since the High Class Pack came out at the end of last year over in Japan. And I like these. The Miraidon, single energy 40 or free energy 120, but 240 against an EX. It's a basic Pokemon. I think those could work. And then we've got a Koraidon as well. Now, I'm not such a Koraidon fan generally, and I'm not such a Koraidon fan in terms of the attack. Free energy, 200, and it can't use it next turn, that specific attack. No. Free energy, that is. But 2 energy, 50 damage, but 120 if you had a Pokemon KO'd by damage during your opponent's last turn. It's an alright revenge attack, especially if you're hitting for weakness, but I am a little bit concerned that it just doesn't do enough damage. Sorry, Koraidon fans. I know there are a bunch of Koraidon fans out there. That's just how I feel. Now, that's Start Deck 100 and Mega Dream EX. But there are actually a couple of other Pokemon that we've frankly been waiting for. And that is Hop's Pincurchin and Team Rocket's Kangaskhan. You'll notice they've got gym promo logos on, gym logos on from Japan, because these are gym promos that came around. I mean, Hop's Pincurchin was when Japan got their equivalent of Journey Together. And Team Rocket's Kangaskhan is when Japan got their equivalent of Destined Rivals. It's been a while. We've been waiting for these. But given that we're almost certainly, and I think given that Erica's Tangela is a promo, we're getting Erica's Vileplume. So that means that Trainers EXs are back on the menu for this set, which means we can get these. Now, the Pincurchin, I tried convincing myself, but I think I might have failed even convincing myself. But if it's active and damaged by an attack, your opponent takes 3 damage counters onto the Pokemon that attacked it. Fine. And free energy 120, draw 2. I love drawing 2 on an attack on a basic Pokemon that does not negligible damage, but I still think it might be a bit too expensive. Team Rocket's Kangaskhan I sneakily really like. Because for 2 energy, but remember Team Rocket's energy totally counts here, you do 30 damage for each head you can flip from 4 coins. So go second, whack a Rocket's energy on their flip 3 coins. Or for free energy, you do 120, but if you played a Rocket supporter this turn, you do an extra 100, 220 in total. So turn 1 going second, you whack a Rocket's energy on there and flip 3 coins. 4 coins. But then after that, you just do 220 a turn. Just sit there doing 220 while you set up other stuff. As an early game Pokemon to kind of sit there and poke while you're setting up other things, I really like it. I'm assuming all these Pokemon are coming in the set. I cannot tell you for certain that all of these Pokemon are coming in the set because I just don't know. But they are all essentially on the list for ones that could. They all make a lot of sense to come here, but especially with things like, you know, the fact we're getting a bunch of reprints, etc. I don't think we're in a position now to really start guessing exactly what is and isn't going to be in the set. But these all have a good chance to be in there. They are essentially the missing EXs and Mega EXs that could be in Ascended Heroes. But I've told you about them all now, translated them all on the fly as well for what it's worth. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me which ones you want to be in the set. Tell me which ones you're looking forward to. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Unknown One, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.